Hi, Pisces. All right, let's do this. So, I thought about it some more, and it's kind of not fair to give some people free readings and not give other people free readings, and I know that you're thinking it, but you didn't say it, and I'm so appreciative that you didn't say it. And then speaking with the team, which is I guess what I have to start calling it now, the decision was made that the first month of extended readings, every sign should get an extended reading. So you do too. So here we go. Let's see what's going on for July. I love waiting until the 1st to do your readings, like until the month starts. That's why sometimes you may have thought that I like to do your reading late. It's only because you guys are the best barometer. So I like to really gauge the whole month by you guys. And until I feel like I can do the Pisces reading, I don't think I'm really sure on how the month is quite going yet. You guys are great indicators that way. So let's see what comes up. We'll focus less on the Cardinal Cross for you guys and more on this kind of stuff. It's a great first card to get. 9 of Cups. You know, approaching a place of, don't freak out, but perhaps emotional fulfillment. That strange place where you kind of give in to whatever or whoever cannot be controlled, and then you are at peace. And then as soon as you're in that state, it seems like new love just kind of wanders in. New money wanders in. New opportunities. Things, projects that have been stalled maybe, or you just couldn't actualize them, start to move and then all of a sudden get done. It's this sort of time that's come for Pisces now. All right, let's see. Queen of Swords, Page of Cups. All right. Page of Swords and the Hermit. So a lot of air so far. Let's see. You are going to be communicating a lot like a Gemini because you have that Gemini influence this month. It's, how do I put it? You have the air sign ability this month to propel yourself into a new situation if you want. Sometimes Pisces can be a little bit, well, the way I'm being right now. You know, I'm always just a mirror of what's going on. Someone who feels a lot and could just, if they could just transfer you the feeling, you'd know exactly what was up. But when they have to put it into words, there is this disconnect where it comes across as not quite articulate enough, right? And you know I'm not like this. This is the opposite of what I'm like. But when I take on your energy so I can read for you, this is the way it comes out, you know, even from someone who's trained at being a good communicator, right? So this month you get to work with that, and although you still appear as yourself in the reading, you have the influence of these 2 air sign cards. One of them quite harsh, but then the dwindling down to something more playful is really a positive sign. So let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. If you're dealing with an air sign who seems to be diminished somewhat in their power now because of something you've communicated, or perhaps because you loved them no matter what, or you forgave them and were compassionate to them when they didn't really deserve it. If you are just coming out of a situation like that, just know that that person has been quite diminished by what happened, and they're well aware of how your ability to be magnanimous saved them somehow. Now, the other card here is the Hermit card. So you will also be experiencing a time right now of great imposed solitude. And why? Well, you need it because you've got a full moon coming up next month in the house of your subconscious. Why is that important in July? Because what you do in July is going to give you the tools you need to tackle that problem, because that's not going to be easy. Your subconscious is where you hide things, which is kind of funny because you can't hide things. You're the worst, at lying. You're the worst. You're just too clear for that. You're not good at hiding things. And so what you do instead is you kind of hoard them. You know they're there, but you pretend it's not there. And an eclipse in your 12th house, an eclipse in that room where the hoarding is going on, that's going to be uncomfortable if it hits you all at once and all of a sudden you got to clean it out. I suggest you take this month to do, well, it makes sense, right? To be very, very rational. And these are two different kinds of rationality. It's important to remember that. This is someone who is domineering in their approach, but they have their merits, and their merits being there is a way to do things. If you do it in that way, it will be easier and better for everyone. And it is the most thoughtful way, right? I have thought this through, and with the power of that insight, I am telling you now that this is what you should do. Great, perfect. This is a different kind of rationality. These are all tools that you can use to get rid of the junk before the eclipse hits you. Because if you're able to do this work now, this month, which you're given all the tools to do it, right? Always. You're given the tools before the thing. Always, right? But if you do it and you use these different modalities to clean that, room out, then when that eclipse hits you, you can have a lot of fun with it. Because it won't hurt. Because you won't be drudging through all these, memories and thoughts or whatever. So how do you do it? So one is the Queen of Swords energy, which is, like I said, there's a way to do things. You know how things are supposed to be done. If these people in your life or that situation in your life is not behaving in the way that things are supposed to be done, go away. We're not dealing with you. We don't need it, right? Now, this is a different kind of rationale. This is someone who is lighthearted, innocent, able to vacillate and quickly adapt and change their mind if they have to, and learns on their feet and rolls with the punches. Someone who is consistently adapting and getting better. Okay? Well, that sounds like a Pisces too. A Pisces is a survivor. A Pisces is someone who is constantly searching for, in the most unconscious way sometimes, for that spiritual, revival, for that spiritual awakening, for that constantly striving, kind of like this. And this month will highlight your need. And if you're dealing with an Aries, I'm sorry, I'll get back to that. But if you're dealing with an Aries, they're obviously still around, and I'm sorry. And I know that that's not easy. And if you're dealing with a Virgo, they're obviously still around as well. But I don't know if you guys have noticed collectively, but the Virgos have all of a sudden hit a really rough patch. So they will be reaching out, and they will be leaning on their support systems. And as we know, as we've talked about in previous months, Pisces can be the source of many people's comfort. So this is also about the people that are going to lean on you. But let's go back to how you can use them before we talk about that. So the Page of Swords is this really innocent kind of energy, and it rolls with the punches. And the thing that the Page of Swords does really well, without even meaning to, is the one thing that Pisces has a lot of trouble with, and that is boundaries. So Pisces is just as playful and just as roll with the punches and just as cool. But then someone steps over your boundaries and you have this strange, now this is me speaking as a Gemini, a strange sense of like being so nice or maybe wanting to make that person so comfortable, or it comes from a giving place is what I'm trying to say. But you don't do the thing where you go, back up, because your boundaries are so fluid as it is. And I get it. That's who you are as people. And that's what makes you so beautiful and so receptive and so everything you are. But not being able to establish boundaries is how you stock up that proverbial room, with junk, because every time someone impinges on your boundaries, you lose a little bit because it doesn't make you feel good, and you have to compromise yourself and it feels bad. The Page of Swords is someone who is very, very adept at doing just that, at very diplomatically, if you've ever seen a Libra, push someone back when they've stepped over the line, very diplomatically with their words, being able to say to someone, here's the line, please don't step over it again. And I think this month, your friends and your family and the people who lean on you, including this Virgo, including the Aries that wants to like come out of the deck, they will all teach you where to draw those lines around you. And good, you need to draw those lines, because like I said, when August hits, first, you're going to have this eclipse business. But also there's a retrograde, there's a Mercury retrograde. So there is pressure right now in this month to get a lot done, which is great because you guys like getting stuff done. And most of the activity that we're going to go into when we take an extended look past the cards at like what's going on in what house, most of the activity is just with work. So I get it. I can see it, is what I mean. I can see the greater like pattern here. It's like you need to focus on cutting out the people who need to be cut out. So obviously you need swords, but you also need to be looking internally here with this Hermit card at what attracted those people to you in the first place. Okay. And the reason for both of these is because you have so much activity coming up in areas where you're going to have to decide, what does this mean to you? What does it mean to be this water card? Is that what you want? And I think it is what you want. And the thing about that guy is he's happy. He's content. And I think the way you get there is, yes, you may have to wield some swords. Sure. You may have to take some time away just to be able to see people for who they are. I've already had several conversations with Pisceans who have just started over the past few weeks looking at their friends differently, because these influencers are so strong, but they are so subtle. But they are not subtle for a Pisces. They hit you like a bus. And so kind of like on time, just right on time, I start hearing from Pisceans about how some of their friends are just jerks and they're tired of it, or some of the people that they really trusted turned out to be envious. Some of the people that they thought would always be around turned out to be nothing like they thought. Just a lot of disillusionment with the peer group. A lot of feeling stagnant with the people they're around. I mean, you see the cards just like not wanting to come out, like wanting something better, looking around at the image I'm getting is like, when there's like so many fish in the aquarium that there's like, you can't really appreciate anything because they're just all on top of each other. Like it's too much. And I think that you naturally can sense that there's too many sharks in this pool. And you don't feel like being a shark right now. You feel like doing, like I said, you're going to have an eclipse in your house of the subconscious. You don't feel like being a shark. You feel like being smart and insightful and soft and pretty and, handsome. I'm sorry, whatever whatever you prefer. And into doing soft, romantic, pretty things. You don't want to be in that world like that right now. Does that make sense? And so there are naturally people who are going to fall away from you right now because they have this energy. Like you're trying to get here with your energy and they're there are people that need to be cut out because they refuse to pick themselves up out of this place. And I knew at some point, Pisces, we would have to have this conversation of like, when do you let the people go that you keep helping, that I was criticizing you about, you know, in videos like long ago? Like, I knew at some point we'd have to have the conversation of like, when is it enough? When is it enough? When is it, when like a partner finally says like, yo, are you still helping that bitch who's not going to excuse me, but like, you know, or like I've experienced that. Like I've had that kind of, I've watched a Pisces have that argument with her boyfriend. Sure. You know, when does this Ten of Swords energy start to really be such a downer and interfere so much with your life and the direction in which you want to take your life and the direction in which your life is going, which is all about abundance? Yay. When does this become too heavy and too much, and you have to say to the person, I don't think I can give you anything that'll make you feel better. Like, I don't think that there's anything that I can do to help you. And do you even know how to say that? Because I think that this month you're going to have to learn. I think this month you're going to get so busy and you're going to have so many opportunities, and whatever you want to get done in terms of getting signed, or, you know, deals you need to close, or contracts that need to be signed, closings that need to be done, projects that need to be put into implementation or go into production, everything, you know, all the people that need to sign their release forms, whatever you're doing right now, you need to get it done before the middle of August. And you know how that retrograde is in that time of the year. Like, it's like, it just drags, like a retrograde in August, for real. August is already like, you know, like it's for, so, you know, the first 2 weeks of August before the retrograde even starts, it's going to be like, so this is your month. This is your time to push all those things through. And I think the last thing you need when you have that kind of healthy pressure that makes Pisces go, let's make that money, let's make those deals, let's put those projects out there. I think the thing that really sucks to have around you, look at this. This is the bottom of the deck. This is the card, you know, that came up before. And look at the two cards that came up. The Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So it's not even like these people are just negative. And I'm not trying to rag on your friends. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not just about your friends. It's about your environment. There are people around you, whether it's at work or with your friends. Because I think the reason I'm focusing on friends is because you have a lot more control over that, right? So, and it's coming up here as, you know, definitely something that you've been working on. So this is either just a work environment, or it's, you have been actively trying to cultivate a relationship with this group of friends, or with this person, or with this, you know, dynamic that now you're beginning to see is like super toxic and just not, you know, just not very good for you. You know, I understand now why you need so much of this energy, because like, how are you supposed to deal, you know, with this when it's not your own, but it's like, you're good at dealing, but it's so heavy. Like, there's so much of it, you know, it's a lot. And I think the reason the Five of Swords comes up here the way it does is because this is a month where you're going to have some painful realizations about the people you let into your life. Like, you know, I have written down here, let's get into this extended reading bit here. I have written down here, when the full moon goes into your 11th, fed up with the fakery. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's about when you're surrounded by people who are either just negative, or they're super fake because they're competing with you financially, you know, in a work situation, or because they're competing with you for attention, on an emotional level. Those situations are never situations where one experiences growth. Does that make sense? And you're interested right now in growth. Even this person who is rigid in their beliefs is interested in growth. This person for sure is characterized as someone who is always yearning for growth. Obviously, you are too. Obviously, the hermit's whole job is to constantly search for that inner growth, right? So you are heading in one direction, and the people around you seem to be heading in another direction. Now, the other thing that's happening is that these people, at the same time as being really negative, are also kind of deifying you and kind of looking up to you, which even more puts their hooks in your back. Because once people start admiring you and praising you, then you feel kind of even more sorry for them that their life isn't working out the way that it should. Now, if you've got a fire sign in your life who's trying to, again, I told you that Aries. So first, like trying to come out of the deck as the Emperor and then coming up upside down, because you know how the fire signs get when they don't get attention. And I think that fire signs think that Pisces will just give them attention, and they'll never stop. And then one day they realize that these fish can swim both ways. And as soon as Pisces decides to swim the other way, fire sign doesn't know what to do, because they don't realize that when you're done, you're done. I don't think people get that about water signs. It doesn't matter how many times water signs say, like, when I'm done, I'm done. People don't listen, right? So this fire sign is really, really wanting to, let's get some clarifying. So this is what the extended reading would look like, right? We would kind of finish it here. But now we can take a look more at what's going on here and what's going on with the friends and how it ties in with what's going on astrologically. And I'll show you my notes. Okay? So, first off, why don't you take a screenshot of my notes, and that way, there you go. You have that. And then we can go through it. So, the light's just weird now. It's like coming in at all different angles. It'll be fine. All right, so Venus in the 4th house. Remember how I said that everything has to be soft with you right now? What I wrote here is make it cute so you feel cute. That's why I want to take a look at this fire sign and at these people who are not, who are draining you, who are being like energy vampires. And I also want to take a look at this air sign, because I have a feeling that this is also someone who's, at least energetically pursuing you for now. So you are in a place of magnetism, so make it cute. Make yourself look the way you want to feel. If you're not feeling all the way, together right now, at least make yourself look the way that you would want to look if you felt better, and you will feel better. So there is that. Now, I find it interesting that I've been shuffling so much, and these 3 cards don't really want to be informed. And what that says to me generally when the cards stick like this is that they have secrets. They have secrets that they don't want revealed. Their intentions with you are based in more take than give. And any sort of energy is always reluctant to reveal that information, especially to a source from which they really, really want as much energy as they can get. So the major arcana that comes up is the Wheel of Fortune. So really just a message that regardless of what is going on, you've got the wheel turning in your favor. And that makes sense, because Mercury in the 6th house, get stuff done, but focus on your own life. The Wheel of Fortune doesn't spin for you and the people in your life. The Wheel of Fortune spins for you. It's singular to you and your experience. And sometimes Pisces gets lost in where they end and others begin. And this is going to be one of those times where you put up those boundaries and you say, no, this is where I begin. And this wheel is spinning for me, and I have a lot of energy and good luck right now to get stuff done, and I really want to take advantage of it. And I want to use this time to get stuff done, so please stop distracting me. Because what this Page of Swords, the upside Page of Wands, upside down Page of Wands, what they're representing to me here is a distraction. And that's why there's no meaningful cards coming up, because they're not important. Let's see. What does a magician do? Distracts you. Distracts you while he does something. I told you they hide. They don't want to be found out. What magician wants his secrets revealed? You know, the cards have such a sense of humor. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but if you go back and pause, you'll see this was bottom of the deck a few times. It's like this. When the full moon comes into the 11th, right? Look what it says. Fed up with the fakery. Current climate makes you want to take a stand. But not just take a stand in terms of the fakery with your friends, but these energies, they're making themselves known as being the waste of time that they are. And I would even include, you know, this person and whoever the people are who are like, you know, making you feel like you're being lied to and that they want to take from you. This is a card of someone who wants to take from you and not give you. And this is a card of someone who's just living in their own misery and trying to drag you down there with them. This is all about distraction. And that's what this card represents a lot of the time, especially in the context of what we're seeing here. And it's tied to you getting your work done and getting your money. Dead it. Let these people out of your life, at least for the next 2 months. Just, you know how Pisces can get in that place where they're like, okay, for the next 2 months, I'm just gonna eat raw, or I'm gonna, you know, like, I'm just gonna eat raw food. I'm just gonna eat, I'm gonna be vegan, or I'm gonna run the marathon. So I'm gonna start training. Like, you know how you guys get like, accomplishment oriented? Do it. Just give yourself this as your, you know, target. This is your target, is that you have all this super, super positive, let's get the ball rolling. Like, look what it says here. Mars in the 6th house, singularity of focus. Keep your priorities straight. So Aries is in your house of money. What's Aries? Focus. Straight up. You know where you're going. You know exactly what you want, and you're going to go get it. That's your money energy. You know that when you want to get something done, when you want to get the ball rolling, when you want to create something that then leads to money, whatever. I know that's never the end goal, but when you want to create, you can do it, right? This is the time to do it. These people are not here to help you. They're lying to you. They're not your friends. You'll see it. You'll see it yourself. It doesn't matter if I say it or not. But if I say it, it's a little bit, although my style is abrasive, it's still less harsh than the way the universe will show you, because you guys are so sensitive. You get hurt. And I know, immediately the tough wall goes up and you're like, no, but I don't care. Fine, I don't need them. But you still get hurt. And I would rather you just know in advance, like I said, so you know it's coming and you're kind of looking at people going, you know what? Like, this is just more important to me than being distracted. And like 2-3 months from now, I'm still here. Because here's the important thing. Why do you need to have singularity of purpose? Why is it important to do the make it cute, feel cute? Why do you need to get fed up with people and get rid of them? Okay, what does it say? Eclipse in the house of the subconscious. It's going to make you let go. If you don't do all this cleaning out in these different aspects of your life, when it's time for you to let go, you're going to be in so much pain. What's the point? Why? You can now systematically start to evaluate these different areas and realize that certain people in certain situations, they just don't gel with you. You know, if this air sign is continuing to persist as a distraction, this eclipse is going to dictate the next 6 months of your life. That's a long time. You don't want to go into yet another cycle if this Page of Wands is going ape shit now because they can't get your attention. You don't want to spend another cycle being wrapped up in something that is in no way helping you financially. It's in no way helping you with your career and just feeling fulfilled and purposeful. It's not even adding to your emotional well-being. It's just there taking your energy, stealing your thoughts, stealing your time when you could be thinking and creating and doing and earning. And so, again, you want to be like them? Because the reason they're such a distraction and popping up all the time is because they hate being alone because they feel like this inside. And they want you to feel like this with them. That's what they want. You know that whole thing, misery loves company? Oh, this is such a great thing to explain to you guys. This is the stuff that I'm now going to be doing in the extended part of the readings because it's just so people aren't like, oh my God, just read the cards and get it over with. So this is one of the things that, like, if you like this sort of thing, you'll enjoy those. They'll all go up as of next month, like through, like we're putting up a website and all that. So it'll be cool. Here's the thing that Pisces really need to understand. I get that you guys are loving. I get that you really want to help. I get that everything in you is designed, like we talked about last month, to love and really spread the light. I get it. But you also have to understand how vibration works. Misery loves company. All that really means is that a heavy vibration is able to very easily pull other vibrations to resonate with it. When you hang around enough people, even if you're only doing it to help them and lift them up, and your own energy is very strong, and I get it, just by the way physics works, when you hang out with someone who has a negative vibe or is constantly stuck in that place of just not being able to spiral up, if you will, inevitably they will lower your vibe. They will lower your frequency because they're energetically taking a little bit from you to start to, fuel up a little. So if you are constantly being come to with problems and low vibration problems and low frequency, banter and conversations, you're equalizing the energy all the time because that's what you do. You want to make everything level. So you're like constantly the two fish are going back and forth trying to level everything out. And in the meantime, there's no thought given to, well, what about my own energy? And that's what I mean about the boundaries. That's why you guys don't have boundaries, because you don't think selfishly about energy. And what I'm saying is this month you have to. You have to, because you've got some hard lessons coming up in a month. And I've never, ever experienced anything that helped with taking a difficult exam except studying and preparing. Nothing else works. It's the only thing that gives you peace of mind and the ability to just sit down and write it all out and throw the thing at the teacher and leave and be like, whatever, I knew that. That confidence that one has from preparation and having done the work, that's what you get to invest in now, whether it be in your career, in your love situation, in just the way your house looks, in the way you look, right? Whatever you put your love and creative attention to now will flourish. Do these people deserve to get that? Or do you get to deserve that now? Isn't it time for you to give that to yourself so you have this huge 6-month period coming up of just cyclical growth, getting more and more and more and more? Or you spend this time kind of in a frenzy over these people who are jumping up and down trying to get your attention, but you think it's really you trying to get their attention, and you're doing this back and forth really spiraling toxic thing. And then they'll just take your energy, and then next month where you got to set up for a 6-month period, you have nothing to work with. And on top of that, your feelings are hurt. You don't feel good. And so you enter the eclipse not feeling good, and then you have 6 months of attracting what's not feeling good. Not worth it. No matter how you feel right now, that's not worth it. No matter what or who did what to you, still not worth it. Right? So what I would suggest is get away from this Ten of Swords energy as fast as you can, because like I said, eclipse in the house of the subconscious means that it's going to make you let go of things that you are very attached to. Very attached to. We are attached to our wounds. We like them. We like them. When my friend Cynthia, who makes these malas, these gorgeous malas, which this one, like for real, this thing works. Like for Nazar and keeping away like the evil eye, like I have felt so much better since I started wearing this. Like I wear it all the time. But when she did the healing for me, she was saying that, you know, when they tried to take like these hooks or these wounds out of me, I was trying to bargain my way out of it and like sobbing and crying, and I didn't want those wounds healed. I thought I needed those wounds. They were a part of me. Those things and the people who had hurt me and the things associated with them, those are people that I love. So even the wounds they caused me, I wanted to hold on to, because maybe if I let those wounds heal, maybe I wouldn't be as attached to them or wouldn't love them as much. This is why Pisces readings are hard. Who wants to think like that? But it's true. This is the energy that you guys have, that energy of just truth, you know, like not wanting to clean house, not wanting to let go. Like when she told me that that's what I was doing, you know, when she saw it in her healing, like that made sense to me. I would do that. I would try to bargain my way out of a healing so I could hold on to someone or something, even if it was bad for me, just out of a sense of like, you know, that Cancer rising, that like water sign loyalty. Like, no, it's my wound, it's my person, and it's my wound, and I'll keep it. And the resolution to that ended up being really interesting. The resolution to it actually ended up being the catalyst for me beginning to do remote healings, which I've never done before. My ability to remote like travel and stuff like that has been very like honed since I was really young, but like remote healings and like seeing in my imagination and healing people through the imagination, I'd never done that before, or like really experienced it before Cynthia did it for me, and then I did it for a group of my friends, and it was awesome. So like it's something that opened up, you know, doors for me, but it also gave me a lot of insight into how attached we are to the things that hurt us. And what that must mean about us. You know, there's an element of shame and disappointment to it where you're like, come on, but I'm a strong person. Like, I'm strong and I'm smart and I should want to be healed and I should want to be whole again, and I shouldn't hang on to toxic people, and I shouldn't hang on to people that I know are not good for me and are a distraction. So what's wrong with me? You know, why would I argue to keep those hooks? You know, why would I argue to hold on to those wounds? Like, please don't heal this. I need this. And I think it's because we need that person. And so if all we can get is the wound, we'll take it. But trust me, you get to the point where it's just not enough. The wound isn't enough. It hurts more than it satisfies at some point, you know? That transition happens. And it's happening now. And like I always say, I'm never telling you anything you guys don't already know. You know this. You've already felt it. You know it's coming. Just try to be clear with the people around you on why you're setting the boundaries that you're setting, on why you're not going to engage in the fakery of why you're going to buckle down and work and get your projects done. Be clear. Don't be argumentative. Don't be combative. But just say it. I don't like this. I don't think this is for me. Even with these people that are so hard to let go of. This just isn't good. It doesn't make me feel good. You know, I'm just going to stay out of the sun. You know, sometimes the simplest thing is, I just sit in the sun. Sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing, is just to say, I keep trying to heal from this, and I think the first thing I need to do is address the fact that this is just not good for me. And do you know this isn't good for me? Are you aware and you're doing it anyway? Or what? There is going to be some awakenings here. You can't have the Hermit card without there being some awakenings. There are going to be moments here where you're really going to see. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited. I was able to, within a few weeks, feel the after effects of the healing and of those wounds finally healing and those hooks falling out. And I've never felt better in my life. And I think that's what prompted me to get into it myself and offer it. And just being amazed at how profound of an experience it ended up being. But even if it was for no other reason than just to gain this insight into how possessive we are of our wounds, I'm so grateful for it. So that's a look at the extended reading. And from next month, you'll be able to go to my website and just click on it and like put in like a password or something, and you'll have access to like a half an hour, like it'll be a half an hour reading and then a half an hour extra. Okay. This is actually less because that Magician card was just kind of, yeah. So I'll leave my email address below. I'm still doing readings, but you've got to be patient if you would like a reading, unless you're booking an emergency reading, which is same-day readings. So you can email me at the email address below. I'll leave my info. I'll also leave my Instagram and my Snap. And if you would like to know more about a meetup in New York, in Bushwick in the summer, please visit the Strange Ramblings page because everything will be listed there. Okay, Pisces, I love you guys. I will see you in August.